All right, good afternoon, everybody. We're going to start with a brief opening statement from Coach, and we're going to come around for questions. I'll have the microphones for questions again. Coach?
Just excited to have the opportunity to play against Holy Cross this week. Coach Kearns had a great career. You know, him just coming from Merrimack and having the opportunity to come to Holy Cross to be the head football coach, brought some of his staff with him. I know the defensive coordinator, Bagonek, is a good football coach. Went to Temple a long time ago, graduated like '93. I know his son was there in camps, so we got to meet a lot through just the camp experience. And then Andrew Dressner, who's a really good offensive coordinator. All those guys are coming off of a tough loss, such as ourselves. So it'll be a good game. You know, if you go through the past and the history, Syracuse and Holy Cross, they've had our number a few times. So it'll be an exciting football game, and can't wait to be able to play against these guys. I think they got a really good quarterback. They have a couple good receivers. I know their star running back went down. Sorry, he got a season-ending injury, but he was having a heck of a year. 4 touchdowns, 130-some yards, but 31 has came in and carried the load, done a really good job. On the defensive side of the ball, linebacker Monty leads the team. I know he's really good. They have a defensive back, Curtis, number 21. He does a good job also. So, you know, we're excited to play against these guys. I think they all do a really good job. They're a good football team.
We're going to start right in front with Dan and then go to Emily and Chris right after.
Fran, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Last week, going into the game, I asked you about the rushing attack and having more balance there and just what you saw from that. And you said there would be things to come down the pipeline you take what the defense gives you. Coming off of this game where it was more heavy on Kyle McCord again, what can you say about stepping forward and working with Coach Nixon about involving the rushing attack and making sure that you can lean on that at times when you need to?
I mean, we just got to run the football better. I thought that was something that was obvious, as we said before. We'll just run the ball better. We got some things that we have to work on throughout practice, some things to help our offensive line and to be able to help Kyle, so that way we won't put as much pressure on him. But we also have a few good running backs, so we have to make sure that we're able to implement them into the football game.
We're right across the front, so Emily, then Chris, then Mark.
Fran, I'm curious what the tone was, kind of a film session, first loss, assessing that, and then what any of your biggest takeaways were that maybe your perspective changed on something, looking at the film versus what you saw in game.
I mean, we didn't win the football game, so I wasn't excited about that. But in the same sense, there's some things that we did well that I wanted to make sure that I point out to the players. And then there's some things that we done bad, that we didn't play like ourselves with a lot of things. So in big-time football games, you have your big-time players have to be able to make plays all the time. So we just got to continue to be consistent. I felt as though we showed signs of complementary football. Then there were some times in it that we didn't show complementary football. So we just have to continue to do that. But honestly, we're just really trying to focus on wanting to go play Holy Cross and not trying to dwell in the past. I know guys want to continue to talk about what happened last week, but there's nothing really we can do to change the results that came out of last week. We just got to continue to learn from them and move on. So, you know, our main focus is having the opportunity to play against Holy Cross.
Fran, I know you mentioned you didn't want to talk much about what was keeping Zede out, but do you know, is there a timeline for when he'll be back?
No, I just told you last week that we were going to keep his personal business out of it, so he's not back. And when he comes back, you'll see number 8 on offense out there running around and doing things. But right now he has some family things that he needs to handle that are extremely important, and probably be good that we just don't talk about them. So, you know, I would like to respect him, respect his family, and allow them to deal with the situation accordingly.
And similar sort of question, but not about him. Do you have a timeline for Dion and sort of Marcellus? Will they be back this weekend?
No, not yet. Dion, sort of Marcellus?
Tank.
Oh, you mean Tank, Dion Wilson? Tank probably play this week, so Tank's playing. Marcellus, we're not sure. I mean, it's day-to-day, so just depending on how those things go. But right now, it seems day-to-day. He's moving a lot better, so you just never know what'll happen. How about this? Can you do me a second? If you go and open that door, just tell them to stop making all that noise and they'll stop. I'll do it during the meeting. Yeah, pretty simple. I always do that during the meeting, so it'll help us out a little bit. We can go until you hear something.
Hi, Coach. How you doing? The question of physicality. It's been a theme the last Georgia Tech game and last week. You out-physical Georgia Tech, and last week you said Stanford kind of out-physical you. Is playing physical football a question, or being out-physicaled or physicaling the other team, a question of the other team's strength and they're bigger than you are, or is it a question of effort every week? Because I'm sure you stress physicality every week. So is it a question of the other team being bigger, stronger, faster, or lack or inconsistent effort on your team's part?
I just think it's the will of you at the moment, you know, the will, power of you being able to do what's needed, you know. I mean, we're both going to line up, so there was more plays that they won than we won. You know, they had 2 more points than we had, so, I mean, just always take that off to that. Honestly, I'm just trying to really focus and want to play against Holy Cross, hope that we're a little bit more physical than they are, so that's kind of what I'm focusing on, being able to do that, being a little bit more physical than our next opponent.
Coach, you mentioned that when you talk about looking for Little League Kyle, it's always talking about his scrambling ability.
Say that again?
When you talk about Little League Kyle, you always ask, looking for his scrambling ability. What are some of the other aspects of Little League Kyle that you're looking for to help
It's just
this
having
team?
fun. That's just me, so have fun. Like, when we all play Little League, I don't think a lot of kids understand the game. I think they just go out and have fun. They just do everything they possibly can do to help the team win. So, like, when I'm saying that, it's just for him to be able to have fun, to play free, and just to understand and know that we got his back. So, I mean, it's more so just, hey, I want to see you run. I want to see you play. I want to see you have fun. I want to see you smile. I want to see you be a 21-year-old kid, you know? Like, it's important that you do that.
Hey, Coach.
Can you talk about Justin Barron and the versatility of moving him around on defense?
I think he's a really good football player, and he's because of his intelligence and his high IQ, he can do a lot. You know, he can play safety. He play outside linebacker. You notice he's been playing some inside, playing Will. He'd line up at Mike, linebacker. He can line up at defensive end. I mean, the kid could do a lot of things because of his size, his athletic ability, so it helps us a lot.
Coach, the Dome was loud in that fourth quarter in the game last week, a sellout crowd again this week. Just what would your message be to the fans headed into this week?
Just come. Make sure you come again. Like I always said, you know, I'm disappointed that we weren't able to get the W for the fans. I thought they did an amazing job. I thought they were louder than ever. I mean, I could barely hear sometimes. So I just come and repeat the same thing, but the fans, I mean, it was amazing. You know, the atmosphere was legit, and now that it's going to be sold out, I can imagine what it'll be like now. But I'm very thankful for the fans. I appreciate everything we've done. I'm just, like myself, I just feel bad that we weren't able to come away with the win for them, because if anybody outside of the players, I think our fans deserve it more than anything. So, you know, I'm expecting the same crowd noise and things of that nature, though.
Hey, Coach. I know we're not talking on Zeed's status, but what did you see from Jackson Meeks this past week, kind of stepping up into a bigger role, and just what have you seen from his progression, you know, from Georgia to Syracuse as long as you've known
Just
him?
becoming a leader. I mean, that was his first time scoring a collegiate touchdown, so that was good for him. He's always been able to block. He's been a great special teams guy, but being able to take more of an offensive role is a good deal for him, and it's something that was the reason he came here, because that's what he wanted to be able to do. But always been tough. You know, I've seen it last year, so I knew his ability because he did a lot in practice at Georgia and played a lot, and he actually played in the games a lot also at Georgia. But I mean, Yazid, him being able to play for Meeks, being able to come in is just a big deal. It was good for us that he stepped up.
Coach, your team's rushing attempts per game is toward the bottom of the country. Is that something you want to emphasize more going forward to get LeQuint, Yasin, and Will going?
Yeah, we just want to make sure that everyone could be involved. You want to get the playmakers the ball. So just whatever it takes to get to have the W in the win column, you know. Want to check the win column off, so whatever that may be.
Coach, excluding the first drive and Stanford's last drive, Clarence Lewis held Alec Aomaner to 4 catches and 40 yards. Talk about his performance throughout the game.
I thought he did a good job. I don't think he had 4 catches on Clarence. He had the first catch was on Marcellus Barnes. The touchdown was on 23, and another one was in zone. So he had that 1 catch on him at the end of the game. Each time they threw the ball to him on Clarence Lewis, the first 2 were breakups, and then that one was that. But that totally was not Clarence Lewis when it comes to that catch, because everybody's on it. That's completely Coach Fran. It was bad on myself, not on our defensive staff, not on anybody else. That was myself. That was a bad situation. I put Clarence in a bad situation, and the results went that way. So that's completely me, you know, not our defensive coordinator, not Clarence Lewis, not anyone, Coach Fran. I should have handled that a little bit different, you know. So that's 100% me. But I thought he did a good job. that play, because of his coach, put him in a bad situation that ended up happening.
Devin Grant backed up Lewis post game. What can you say about having players that are really willing to step up and back up, their brothers and players on this team?
Devin Grant backed up Lewis. I don't know what you mean by that.
He defended him. He said that play does not define him. He's a great cornerback. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, that's just family, right? Like, no, family doesn't kick other family members under the bus. If you say you with somebody one week, then when something bad happens, then you go opposite of it, then you should probably look at yourself in the mirror. Usually there's some insecurities with you when you start pointing the finger right away when something doesn't go the right way. So, that's great that he did that. I didn't hear that or see that, but that's good. And I can see Devin being able to do that because he's a good kid. And those guys grew a good relationship so far since they've been here. They got a good bond. Our team's becoming a lot closer. We're kind of moved on towards Holy Cross, which is important to us. And honestly, it's this Monday. Us being able to dominate this Monday's practice, go out Monday, focus on Monday, let's have a lot of fun together, as we usually always do. And, because that loss is on Coach Fran. So I want the guys to understand and know, guys, you guys played some good football, that's on me. I put y'all in that bad situation, so we're going to bust our butt to be able to get out. Yeah.
Coach, when you look at the tight end position, we've mentioned, OG's going to get double teamed more often than not. Just how would you assess that position overall, and maybe some other players that may have to step up when that situation occurs?
I mean, it just depends on what you're in, though, right? Because OG is going to be the tight end in the game. It depends if we're in 11 personnel, unless you want us to go 12 or 13, then you're taking other guys off the field. So when you're in 11 personnel, OG is the tight end. If you're in 12 personnel, then there's someone else that could come in the game. But, I think they're doing a good job. Do you like when Maine comes in and blocks and things of that nature? I think he does a good job. I think Dan Villari's doing a good job. And then we got David Clement, who's coming up, who's busting his butt, and you'll start to see a little bit more of him, and also Jamie Treble. So, all those guys are doing a good job. I think they're doing well. I think OG should be double-teamed. If I was on another team, I would double-team him also. So that's going to happen at times, and we'll be able to get OG the ball. Things will come the right way.
Sticking with OG being doubled, Kyle post-game said that some of the responsibility falls on him to still try and get OG the ball in those scenarios anyway, I guess. How do you view the responsibility there between Kyle and OG of getting that ball out even when he is double or tripled?
Kyle's going to say that because he's a good kid to want to put that on everyone else, but he just got to throw the ball to the guy that's open. And if they want to double two, put 2-on-1, then somebody has to be open or someone to have 1-on-1. And we got trust in all of our rest of our guys. So things are happening. Coach Nixon's very intelligent and understands. So, things will happen that way. I don't believe that OG will have 130 yards every game. It's not realistic in the real world of football. So I thought the kid played hard. He did a good job. And I thought Kyle played really hard and did a good job. But honestly, I just think that as long as those guys come to practice today and we're ready for Holy Cross, then we'll be able to move on and just lock in on Holy Cross, because we can't change what happened with Stanford. Coach Fran lost the game. I just kind of said that, and we keep trying to bring that same thing back up. So that's completely myself, and we'll fix everything else up. Yes?
Fran, you got Enrique Cruz a little bit of time last week. Going into Holy Cross, do you want your sort of starting five to get as much time together and gel, or do you want to sort of see what some different guys can do in terms of sparking the run game?
It just depends. I can't tell you about the game today. I could just tell you how we're going to practice today, and then if the practice goes the way we want it to go, and then the next day and so forth and so on, when it gets to the game, whatever we need to do to help us have more points than Holy Cross, then that's what we're going to do, as much as possible. But I can't tell you who's going to play or who won't play or how we're going to gel, because that would mean you're already counting a win. And when you start to do that, then things don't go the right way. And we just want to live in the moment and live in the day, So I can't really answer that question, to be honest with you.
We're going to go hit the two TVs up here, so Ashley, then Maddie.
Coach, kind of going off of Emily's question, you always say there's you as the head coach of this team, and then there's Kyle McCord. What have your conversations been like with Kyle the last few days after Friday's game?
Business is normal. It's just normal. It's been business. It's the same thing. You know, I mean, we're both competitive, so of course there's something inside of you that drives you a little more, but just the same. You just got to stick to the script, you know, just follow the process, go back and see what throughout our process wasn't on point the last week, and just make sure that you can fix it and just be ready for the next time you get to go out on the football field and take full advantage of it, you know. But it's the same thing. I was truly impressed with Kyle. I mean, I was happy with what he done. Like, you know, guys are upset about certain things. I think football, you watch the best of the best. Like, it's a lot of Hall of Famers who didn't play the best of the game, but when you look at it, I feel as though Kyle put us in a position to win the game, went down, we went up, and then on 4th and 9, Coach Fran made a mistake. You know, so kind of like myself, I think Kyle did everything that a quarterback should do, and our conversation is the same. We still have fun, we're just joking and just, you know, getting ready for the next time we get an opportunity to go out to continue to get better. That's it.
Coach, you talked about, you know, just the adversity that this team can go through with the loss. This week in practice, today in practice, what do you want to see from, you know, your coaching staff, your players, to be able to get you guys a win against Holy Cross on Saturday?
We got to be very detailed. We got to really follow into our culture. Like, dart is important, and I want to see that throughout. Like I told the coaches, let's make sure that we're being detailed in everything that we do, hold each other accountable, let's hold the players accountable, make sure there's a relentless approach, and we have to be tough. So, like, I literally just said that in the staff meeting to them, and it's the same thing, though. You know, it's the same thing. Just trying to find a way to go out and just win. You know, but we want to win today. You know, I'm not worrying about really what's going to happen Saturday, but we're going to have a lot of fun today at practice. We're going to hit. We're going to have fun. You know, we're excited about being able to practice today. It's a blessing to be able to go out and have practice today, so we're good with it.
A couple more for Coach. We'll start with Dan and then go to Brent and then we'll wrap us up.
Fran, you look at playing a game from the trenches out, just what you can say in these first 3 games about the offensive and defensive line, what you've seen from them looking at film and assessing where they've been, because I know you've utilized different people at different times. So what can you say about the trenches of this team so far?
I think we're trending upwards. I mean, I think that those guys have done a good job. They'll continue to get better because they want to. You know, they're going to work really, really hard. I think that we may have not had our best showing the past game on the offensive line, and I think that our offensive line coach is a very prideful man, so he's going to make sure that he continues to work the way he's been working and make sure the guys are comfortable with the looks that they got. You know, it's just a matter of guys. We're talking about guys that are 18 to 21, 22 years old, that things just didn't click the way they needed it to click. But there was a point in the game, in my eyes, where we actually played complementary football, you know, the end of that 3rd quarter all the way into the 4th. So it was like everything was going back and forth the way it was supposed to. And so I'm thankful where they are. I think they work really hard. I think Nick Williams does a great job with our defensive line, and I think that Coach Williams does a really good job with the offensive line, and I think that we'll continue to grow and be better as our year goes on.
We'll wrap it up with Brent and Emily.
Fran, you mentioned a couple times that you made a mistake there on that 4th and 9. Are you willing to share what that mistake is?
Yeah, he caught the ball. I put the kid in a situation. I mean, I'm not just going to go through the whole coverage of it because, I mean, it's just different things. You know, it's 4th and 9. I wish I would have did something different to have the kid not in that situation to be able to make a play. So it's just on me as a head coach. You know, I don't know really much more. I messed it up. You know, that's how I'll just tell you. Coach Fran messed it up, and it's not on the kid at all. 100% myself.
Was there anything else in your film evaluation that you say that's on me as the coach? Just curious, with your first loss, how that kind of sits with you.
No, the kids put us in a great position to go down and be able to win the game. And then on 4th and 9, I didn't do what was needed to put that kid in the right position. So I thought they did everything they needed to do throughout the whole day, throughout the entire game. And then 4th and 9, you know, I kind of sold them out.
Marlo Wax, I believe, is about halfway through the initial 6-week period that you estimated for his recovery. Is he still on track for, 6 weeks?
He seems to be. I mean, what do you think I'm going to tell you no? Yeah, he seems to be on track. He's doing everything the right way. He works extremely hard. we went to dinner the other night and just talked and see where he's at, just the mental, to make sure his mental straight. So, I mean, he's on track. He's working hard. He's doing well academically still, and that was important to keep that up because, you know, sometimes when guys get hurt, they kind of slack off classroom-wise. And, I mean, he's just doing everything that's needed. I mean, he's a leader of a football team, and he's working on his vocal piece of it right now. So, I mean, once we have opportunity of getting him back, we'll be excited and thankful to have another piece back. And then, you know, the other guys are stepping into the role, being able to play backer for us right now.
Thanks, guys. I'll come around now for Tuesday night requests. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Dan, you had the